this field of resonance accelerates things, moves emotions that have been stuck or frozen, opens pipes. And when the pipes open, more flows, and everything flows more. Everything. And so the word is be willing. Be willing to be with whatever is flowing. Whatever is flowing, because the movement is good. The old flows on, the fresh flows in. It's funny how tears flowing can be joy, they can be sadness, they can be you don't know what. But it's movement, it's flow. It feels so good. There's even a sweetness to be enjoyed in sadness when we are willing, when we can truly be with it. And I was saying to somebody last night that there's an interesting thing that happens with divine openings, that tears or sadness really moves. Where I know I remember in the past, and I'm sure a lot of you remember when you'd get into sadness or tears and it just would spin. It didn't ever really move. But now it does. And you heard that with Laura about how fast that grief moved, how fast it moved, which is what it's designed to do. But sometimes, even though we don't even realize there's a story running back there, the story keeps it from moving. Instead of just those sweet, pure, precious tears, there's a story. Oh, this is so wrong, I'll never get over it. This is terrible. But we are sometimes not aware of those stories that are running, that are keeping the sadness just cycling, or whatever feeling it is, or anger. You've seen that, or you may have experienced it, where the anger just keeps cycling. It doesn't really move. And then you've experienced, if you've been practicing divine openings very long, you've experienced that. It moves. Even those who have been here before, this energized field will stir up what it stirs up, but it won't stir up anything that's not there. You can count on that. Whatever it stirs up was there. And it stirs up joy too. It stirs up bliss, which that's already there too. The word is, be willing to be with what is. Last night, the days before this morning, I've just been feeling all of these oceans of feeling. And being with that. And there's a beauty in it. Whatever it is, there's a beauty in it. You are all so beautiful. I'm not the only person who said last night that we just fell in love with all of you. That didn't take long. Yeah. That's what happens when we're really here, when we're really home. Life gets busy. And sometimes we don't have time to stop and be with someone. Sometimes you don't even have time to stop and be with yourself. There's this thing called momentum, and it's in physics. They call it inertia too, which sounds weird. It sounds like inertia is standing still, but inertia just means if it's standing still, it tends to stay standing still, and if it's moving, it tends to stay moving. So isn't that an interesting paradox for your daily life, when ideally the balance would be sometimes you stand still and sometimes you move. But that's not what inertia wants. Inertia means if you're standing still, you just stay there. But yes, at least in America, that's not what we do. We're moving. We're doing. And then you want to stand still. Sometimes you want to just dive into the depths of the fertile void. Yet inertia has you moving. Moving, talking, being, doing, all those things. And so here, you get the opportunity to slow that momentum down and actually come to a standstill, where you just sit at the center of your universe, aware. And you've got time to do that. Then you'll go back and find a balance where you deliberately say, whoa, let's slow that momentum down. And you'll know where home is, and you'll know how to stop. We were watching the movie Interstellar the other night. And it really takes a long time to get to a really cool point at the end about time and how our future selves are helping us. But there's this cool part where they use a black hole to kind of sling them around through a shortcut to where they want to go. Watch that movie sometime, and you'll appreciate this. And so what you'll get in here, it's sort of like they did. That black hole is a doorway to many, many, many places, but it's just a big nothing. Last night we talked about Hondo Nada, Spanish, big nothing. And big nothing is just like your slingshot to wherever you want to go. You go to that void, and it's a shortcut to anywhere in time and space. But we have to really slow down to get there. And we don't have to go sit in the cave for 30 years. What most of us want is a balance. To be able to visit that place of stillness and then have the contrast, then go get busy and enjoy it. And I mention momentum because I just want you to know that there's that force to deal with. Gravity. You set a rocket moving and it'll just keep going forever. That's momentum. Just think of like, ding, little bitty force, ding, start it moving. And here's the best news though. Once you've heard some of the people who shared talking about this, once you get a momentum going, it works for you. Those good momentums like you want, those forward moving, expanding, evolving, that momentum, that's going to work for you. You're expanding and unfolding, and you're going to keep expanding and unfolding. And even though you might find you think you dip sometimes, that momentum is still going, and it's going to keep going. And guess what started that momentum? Your intention. Your intention. You decided. Think. Think, and it just keeps going. And there is such an interesting mix in here of people who are just soaring and have been soaring for a while. And then people who are just on the very brink of a shift that will last the rest of your life.